I just want to thank you all for inviting us here to plant this tree. It's really a pleasure. And the last time I was here, I was giving the Queen's Award for volunteer service to volunteers, and that was a great day as well. So it's really great to be here again. We're so admiring of the work of the volunteers here and all the things you've done over the years. So that's absolutely great. And of course today we are commemorating the Jubilee, the Queen's Jubilee, the 70th Platinum Jubilee for Her Majesty, so, which as we all know is a remarkable and unique achievement of any monarch. So we're proud to commemorate that today. And now we'll
plant the tree.
Hey, well done.
My name is Ship.
Get the champagne now.
Lovely.
Yeah, John, are you going to? Can you be trusted with this?
Well, you can probably be trusted more with a spade than with your sword, from what I've heard.
Right. Last time I did this, I fell off the spade.
Yeah.
I have a very reliable witness in the fashion. Just walked onto his car.
As long as you don't fall in the lake.
Oh, that's George?
Yes, that's right.
How many people planted this tree?
Splendid.
Hey, well done.
Well done. Thank you so much.
Thinking about the gender imbalance.
Come on, Sheila. Oh, Sheila, the last 2 tons of soil.
Oh, Sheila.
No wonder they made you President Robert.
Come on.
Right, okay. Now then, this is where I fall over.
Well, no soil left.
Oh, there's a star around the back there.
Oh, a natural.
Oh, thank you, everyone. Can I just say thank you once again for everybody being here and doing what you do. Thank you.
Come on Wednesday and give us a hand.
I'd like to thank everyone for joining us in Birkenhead Park as we mark the 175th anniversary of the world's first municipal park. And I'm glad so many of you could take the time to make it today. It's important for us to celebrate our local history as a community and acknowledge some of the most significant assets in our borough. As we all know, Birkenhead Park was designed by Sir Joseph Paxton, the landscape architect, well known for his work at Chatsworth and later at the Crystal Palace, with the implementation, planting and construction overseen by Edward Kemp. Renowned for many works in the northwest, including Freybeck Cemetery and Grosvenor Park in Chester. It was on the 5th of April 1847, 175 years ago today, at the grand entrance, Lord Morpeth officially opened the gates to 10,000 eager visitors waiting to make use of the very own green space. As is typical of Britain, it was raining that day. Birkenhead Park represented a significant stage in human history and development, with the creation of a dedicated recreation space which was usable by anyone and everyone, regardless of their social standing. The park set a precedent for the creation of free-to-use public parks in towns and cities to provide spaces for clean air, exercise and sport for the working class to escape the restrictive conditions of the factories amidst the Industrial Revolution. Such ideas were replicated across the UK, Europe and into North America, resulting in the construction of some of the most iconic parks in existence today. Parks became an essential feature of growing towns and cities and remain a key part in our lives today, still retaining the function as spaces for recreation and engagement with nature and clean air. Our park has supported the people of Birkenhead through some of the toughest times in history, acting as training grounds during the Great War and as allotments, shelters and scrap metal supply for the Second World War. Even during the 1970s and 80s, where Park saw a general decline, Birkenhead Park endured and was transformed as part of the restoration in the mid-2000s. Throughout the height of the COVID pandemic, when the entire country was under lockdown, Birkenhead Park served its community as the last bastion of freedom, providing a space of fresh air and exercise at a time when we are forced to remain indoors. Even now, as the last of the pandemic restrictions have lifted, Birkenhead Park steadily begins to fill up with events, activities and people, and the aim for this year is to get as many people as possible to return to the park. The theme for the 175th anniversary is the People's Garden, a remark by Frederick Law Olmsted, the designer of New York Central Park, who was awed by the prospect of such a free and equal park in the middle of a growing town. As we celebrate 175 years of Birkenhead Park, let us reflect upon its accolades. A conversation area, a Grade 1 listed landscape, consistently recognised year on year as an outstanding site by the Green Flag Award. We should thank the staff whose time, energy and dedication goes into this park every day to maintain its grounds. Keep it free from litter and engage with our visitors. Let us acknowledge the volunteers from the Friends of Birkenhead Park who support the staff on a weekly basis. We'd like to thank the Priory Parish School who have produced our piece of artwork on the bank. We'd also like to thank Wirral Met College for providing us with 175 cupcakes today, as well as some students to provide refreshments and support this ceremony. We'll thank St Anselm's and Birkenhead High School Academy for the entertainment, and finally Lucas Eaton, who produced today's centrepiece cake. I'd now like to hand over to Graham Arnold, Chairman of the Friends of Birkenhead Park, to say a few words. Thank you, Graham.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for setting up the full history, the purpose and relevance of Birkenhead Park, and also for your great acknowledgement of the role and impact of the Friends. As Chair of the Friends, I speak on their behalf and convey their thanks to you. The Friends were established in 1976, partly owing to concern about vandalism, including the municipal one of cutting off the Swiss Bridge in 1975 and leaving it isolated on the island without a purpose. They also campaigned for the retention of original buildings around the park and for the designation of the park as a conservation area, which was achieved in 1977. Over the years, the Friends have extended their activities by supporting the council in its endeavours for the park. By the time of restoration between 2004 and 2007, the Friends were part of the Birkenhead Park Management Advisory Committee, which you, Mr. Mayor, have chaired from that period onwards. The Friends have also been instrumental in promoting the park as a World Heritage Site, and this is down to Professor Robert Lee, its president, has developed a greater understanding of the park's history, its role as the first public park, and its relationship to health and community well-being through his books, articles, and also his extensive travels through the local archives. He's promoted symposiums, and as part of the 175th year celebrations, he is working with the council on monthly Zoom sessions, culminating in an in-person colloquium in the autumn with international participants. This is how important the park is. After the restoration, the Friends extended their activities as volunteers, health workers, and in 2012 as community gardeners or allotmenteers. The Edward Kemp Community Garden and Growing Area was named after the first manager of the park, and it evokes the memory of the other great person, or the other great gardener who was associated here. It celebrated its 10th anniversary last week, obtaining a grant from the Duchy of Lancaster for tools for better gardening and grass control. Sheila Blair-Lee persuaded the Deputy Lieutenant, Dr. Nicholas Jovanakovich, to unwrap 2 straws and a socially and a moor so that their efficacy could be demonstrated. Pauline Beecham, who has led socially distant walks around the park to help the mental and physical health needs of Australians even during the COVID lockdown. That's the importance that this park has had, throughout that horrible period. Fraser Robertson has ably updated the website and now produces a bi-monthly newsletter to which volunteers contribute their thoughts on the value of the park they do and its impact on their lives. This is part of the volunteer community. For the planting of the tree to commemorate Her Majesty's Platinum Jubilee, the volunteers concentrated on the Lower Lake Island, which had become much overgrown during lockdown. Working with the heritage gardens and the rangers and removing the masses of arisings has been a rewarding partnership. And I'd like to thank at this point Rob Belcher, the park manager, in ensuring that these activities mesh together and that the volunteers can work with the park in such an effective way. Openings between shrubs provide glimpses of the Roman boathouse, and once again the Swiss Bridge becomes a point of vantage for views down the lake. We are thankful to the High Sheriff and the Captain and Secretary of Wallasey Golf Club, who we were hoping would be here today, for making this commemoration possible. As part of the park's 175th year anniversary celebrations, the Friends, in support of the park, are to host a picnic in the park on the 5th of June to coincide with the Platinum Jubilee. In the autumn, as part of a joint event with the Friends of Prince's Park, which was designed by Paxton as a private park, and through the knowledge of his achievements in Prince's Park, was brought over to design Birkenhead Park as the first public park. We intend to plant a Chinese tulip tree to complement similar plantings at Chatsworth and also a tree at Prince's Park. The Duke of Devonshire has indicated his willingness to plant the true trees in Liverpool and Birkenhead, and the Friends hope to host him and the Friends of Prince's Park here. On such a day as this, we have cause to celebrate the exact 175th year anniversary of the park opening to the day. According to the website On This Day, devoted to anniversaries, an American publication, so it's international, the park opening is ranked in the top 5 international events, not just for the 5th of April in any year, but also throughout the year of 1847. That shows the importance of it. And this was also announced by the BBC at 5:45 this AM on this day as the final thing of On This Day, Birkenhead Park was opened. I was half asleep at the time, and I think they might have said 1874, but I haven't been able to check on that. Anyway, fame indeed for the park. For us here today, it's a chance to cherish our own memories of the park. These can be of significant community events, such as the procession of the Olympic torch, or the start and finish of a stage of the cycling tour of Britain. It could also be for the event of the Witching Hour, which was held a few years ago, concerts by the Royal Liverpool Philharmonic Society, or even for those younger amongst us, the lightning seeds. There could also be more personal memories. Mine is one of playing swallows and amazons on the Upper Lake Island by cooking fire-wrapped gammon on the embers of a bonfire of self-sown sycamores, which had to be removed. And once the sycamores had been removed, nature took its course and foxgloves decorated the island the following year. All these memories should be shared over the lovely refreshments which are now going to be provided, including the cupcakes. And such sharing of memories cements the community importance of the park and its ongoing living history as the People's Garden. Thank you.
The Lord Lieutenant, the High Sheriff, and the past High Sheriff have got their swords out. I hope there are no accidents, but just on reflection, coming to the end of my year, and there'll be many highlights, but one of the great encouraging events, or a number of events, have been in the park. Now, I've lived on the Wirral most of my life. I knew about the park, but it is a fantastic story, not only locally, but nationally, but internationally as well. So all the great work that's been done by the volunteers, the staff, support of the council, everybody, I think we should blast that from the rooftops. And I think what I'm really hopeful for, and I think what we're all hopeful for, is that if the application can go in for a World Heritage Site, wouldn't that just be fantastic? So, we say your prayers. I know there's been a lot of good work on that by everybody, but that would be an absolute fantastic end to the year if we could get that. So, thank you everybody. It's been a privilege for me to come here a number of times to be shown around the park, and I'm very grateful to everybody for that. So I think we'll carry on with cutting the cake. What are we going to do?
You can all cut a little bit each. But off you go, guys. You made a right mess of that. Yes.
Oh, yes, with skill. Big pieces. Yeah.
Lovely.
Come on, Sheila, you've got to come and take the first piece.
No. I'm just a volunteer, my love. I think the president should take the first piece.
What about the president? Come on.
I don't eat cake.
I know the two gentlemen to my right.